the mighty breakfast bowl, equally enticing to the late-night reveler and the early morning go-getter, and a decent thing for hungry folk in general. Here's how reviewers ranked popular frozen brands from worst to best. Depending on where you live, the great value breakfast bowls from Walmart only cost about $2 and change for a 7-ounce serving, which undoubtedly makes them an affordable choice. However, whether they truly live up to their name as something of great value is questionable. True to its name, Great Value Bacon Breakfast Bowl does feature bacon, as well as potatoes, eggs, and cheese. It also contains a hefty 29 grams of protein, which makes up 40% of an adult's standard daily intake. But all the beautiful food you're seeing right now isn't what you should expect when this bowl comes out of the microwave. The reality is, well, while some reviews did say it was tasty enough, one reviewer wrote, "Worst great value frozen meal I have ever eaten. It had maybe a tablespoon of scrambled egg in it. The bacon was fat, and I couldn't even chew it. Everything was dry." The Realgood Foods Meat Lovers Breakfast Bowl meal comes with scrambled eggs, sausage, uncured bacon, shredded cheddar cheese, and tots made from cheese and cauliflower. So far, so good. And the grain and gluten-free breakfast got a 7 out of 10 from at least one YouTube reviewer. But with a whopping 395 milligrams of cholesterol, about 132% of your recommended daily intake, it's not a particularly health-conscious choice. It also doesn't help that the 7-ounce meal contains way more calories, fat, and sodium than you'd expect. 760 milligrams of sodium to be exact.
That's the way I like it. Salty. So salty. Aging rapidly. Where's Charlie Rose?
On the flip side, the microwave breakfast comes with 26 grams of protein and just 7 grams of carbohydrates, which makes it promising for those with low-carb needs and arteries of steel. Built on a line of plant-based foods, Tattooed Chef is a brand that's popular with customers who prioritize a vegetarian and gluten-free diet. Their breakfast bowl with plant-based sausage has a price tag over $5, but the higher cost might be a justifiable investment for the ingredients. The 7-ounce bowl contains cage-free eggs, tater bites, and red and green peppers, all covered in a cheddar cheese sauce. In the nutrition department, the meal includes 17 grams of protein and 280 calories. One YouTube review gave the breakfast bowl a, quote, reluctant thumbs up. The biggest downside is that the plant-based sausage doesn't taste much like sausage. Sold in 6.5-ounce boxes, the Smart One's ham and cheese scramble frozen meal is slightly smaller than many other breakfast bowls you'll find in the frozen foods aisle. This may contribute to the meal's budget-friendly price of around $2. The gluten-free dish also comes with relatively reasonable nutrition stats. Composed of scrambled egg whites, ham, cheese, and Ore-Ida roasted potatoes, the Smart One's breakfast bowl has left a lot of consumers underwhelmed. The most common complaint has been that the meal is bland and overly watery. One Reddit user seemed to have found a solution to that problem, advising, if you take the film off at the end and cook it slightly longer than it calls for, some of the water evaporates. That's good advice, but frankly, we're looking for convenience in a frozen breakfast bowl, not extra steps to keep it from tasting like something out of the Matrix.
If you close your eyes, it almost feels like you're eating runny eggs.
You know, a bowl of snot.
The Sweet Earth Enlightened Foods Protein Lovers Breakfast has been made specifically with vegetarians in mind. The 7.5-ounce bowl consists of plant-based sausage and bacon, as well as eggs sourced from cage-free chickens, potatoes, spinach, and cheddar cheese. With 22 grams of protein, the on-the-go meal is a decent choice for those wishing to kickstart their day with an energy boost. So, how does it taste? It's elicited a range of opinions from consumers, with many reviewers noting that they find the bowl to be excessively potato-heavy, while another reviewer says that the meal could also use more eggs. So all in all, not too bad. Aldi carries a ton of unique brands in their stores, And one fan favorite in the frozen aisle is Breakfast Best, purveyor of the meat lover's breakfast bowl. The bowl features potatoes, eggs, sausage, bacon, and cheddar cheese, which all comes out to 24 grams of protein. Customers' responses to Breakfast Best Meat Lover's Breakfast Bowl have constituted a blend of praise and criticism. One review rates the bowl at a high 4.5 out of 5 for its flavor. But the product didn't win over every palate, as some reviewers called out the unappealing texture of the potatoes and eggs. The Kroger brand offers a range of breakfast bowls, and by most accounts, they offer a lot of bang for your buck. The Kroger Meat Lover's Scramble Breakfast Bowl is made with scrambled eggs, roasted red potatoes, and sausage in a 3-cheese sauce, and got solid ratings from online reviewers. The sausage scramble has the same ingredients, minus the bacon. Both of those options offer a hearty amount of protein too. One reviewer singled out the texture of the eggs as a high point of the dish, which, based on how rubbery they turn out in other brands, must be a tough thing to keep fluffy in a frozen bowl. That may be the result of the dish's advertised use of real whole eggs. On the flip side, Kroger's farmhouse-style scramble didn't quite hit with reviewers. One Redditor noted that despite being advertised with bell peppers and onions in the ingredients list, their dish contained neither. There's only one way to review a dish like that.
It was all so disappointing.
The Eggland's Best Loaded Potato Scramble Bowl is chock full of onion, green onion, bacon, eggs, and cheese. And of course, the star ingredient. At the risk of being coy, here's a hint of what that is.
Potatoes.
Yep, this thing is saturated with spuds and, unfortunately, salt, with a tongue-shriveling 910 milligrams of sodium. At over $5, the Eggland's Best Loaded Potato Scramble Breakfast Bowl is pretty pricey too. So is it worth the cash? Well, yes and no. There are no straight-up negative qualities mentioned by reviewers. It's a filling meal, free of disappointment and regret, with good texture, crunchy bits of bacon, and firm potatoes. The eggs are also a highlight, which you'd expect in a product made by an egg company. If you can justify the price, you could safely call this one a winner. If you can justify the price. As the popular country singer, actor, TV host, and brains behind the Jimmy Dean brand once said without a hint of irony, sausage is a great deal like life. You get out of it what you put into it. It seems that this sentiment also applies to the brand's breakfast bowls. While the Jimmy Dean Chorizo Breakfast Bowl also consists of potatoes, onions, peppers, eggs, and cheddar, it's the chorizo that steals the spotlight.
Why don't you get some Jimmy Dean sausage and get yourself a large chunk of that good morning feeling?
According to Freezer Meal Frenzy, the chorizo single-handedly carries the other ingredients, which on their own would have tasted rather bland. The blog goes so far as to call the offering the best of the Jimmy Dean breakfast bowls. While the Jimmy Dean Chorizo Breakfast Bowl has received a thumbs up from reviewers for taste, it falls slightly short of being a healthy breakfast choice. The combination of chorizo and other ingredients may make it a tasty morning treat, but it's essential to be mindful of the meal's other nutritional values, including 380 calories, 26 grams of fat, and 730 milligrams of sodium. This is particularly noteworthy since the breakfast bowl isn't overly filling on its own, so you may have to end up eating something else on the side. For those who don't like as much spice in each bite, the regular Jimmy Dean sausage breakfast bowl also gets high marks from reviewers. One Redditor pointed out the eggs and sausage for their flavor and texture. No matter which specific breakfast bowl you go with, Jimmy Dean seems to offer consistent quality. The Gardein Southwest Sausage and Veggie Breakfast Bowl isn't just for vegetarians. It's also suitable for vegans, given that it's one of the few frozen breakfast bowls out there made without eggs or cheese. The meal comes with plant-based sausage and plant-based scrambled eggs, as well as black beans, vegan mozzarella shreds, roasted potatoes, bell peppers, corn, cilantro, and lime pesto sauce. In addition, the 8.5-ounce dish has 330 calories, 18 grams of fat, and 790 milligrams of sodium. Despite the fact that its nutritional stats could be better, the Gardein Southwest Sausage and Veggie Breakfast Bowl has received a positive reception from reviewers. Compared to other breakfast bowls, Dr. Praeger's Egg Whites and Kale's Breakfast Bowl has a refreshingly short list of ingredients. Made with scrambled egg whites sourced from cage-free chickens, kale, potatoes, onions, peppers, and cheddar, the meal doesn't contain any soy or gluten. While it's pretty low on protein with just 11 grams, the 7-ounce bowl also comes with just 8 grams of fat, 10 milligrams of cholesterol, and 200 calories, making it a pretty well-rounded, low-cal choice.
Today's active humans prefer low-calorie bait.
Dr. Praeger's Egg Whites and Kale Breakfast Bowl has been praised by consumers for its flavor and hearty nature. One Amazon customer said, "These little healthy bowls are bomb. It tastes fresh. You can't even tell they were frozen. They are hearty too, so it doesn't feel like I'm eating a low-cal breakfast. But I am."